So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Donny Chaingang here, first day of April. And fortunately, we are after 12 o'clock, so not going to be playing any tricks on anybody, not even on the bear, on Russ, who is busy already down on the start pen and looks like he's actually managed to remember to change his bike. Now, if you have been on Zwift, you'll know Zwift at the moment are currently enjoying the 1st of April. And personally, I'm hoping that we would stay on the trikes and the astronauts running for tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, sadly. But we have got lots more for you tonight. We've got a great course in Casse. We've got the second of our Halo Spring draws. The Goodbye Winter Halo Spring Week continues here on the Donny Chaingang gang, the DCG gang, the members club, which is the supporters club, which keeps us on the road and keeps the show heading out to you, and of course keeps Russ's wheels ticking as well. Now, it's been a bit of a mad rush, and first of all, quick apologies to a couple of the members who may all think they're all called the same name. They're not, but the software clearly didn't like having to be under pressure, so apologies for that. But do you know what? Everything else in it's right, and we can all get called different things. I'm sure Russ has been called plenty of things, including Ross on occasion. So we are ready to roll. We're going to kick off, first of all, with the draw. Now, Halo have given away a fantastic credit into someone's account, and they're going to give away £300. And Halo, of course, with great wheels like this one. And the, I have to say, fantastic bit of kit. And this has just come back off and it had to be cleaned once again because I was out on the road bike, and of course the super spinny free hub. Now we are going to draw for £300. That means that basically with the 15% discount as a member of the DCG gang, whoever wins can basically get themselves a set of wheels, whether it's for the mountain bike, road bike or similar. Or they could buy 300 dust caps or have many caps and t-shirts and whatever. So let's head across into the giveaway screen. And the numbers are running. Now the odds tonight for our members, it is 1 in 101. So let's give this a spin. And I'm going to try and multitask here, so bear with me. So what we'll do, we'll hit the stop button when that has stopped rolling. So I have no idea when it's going to stop rolling. It's ticking away, as you can see. Right, and we've stopped at 116, and 116, it is going to be the one and only Brian Smith. So Bryce Smithy, a man who is definitely no stranger to riding his bike, and regular on the chain gang. You, sir, are going to be a very lucky man, and I'm sure after the year we've had in broadcasting, you're going to be glad of a new set of wheels and to get out and spin the wheels. So, well done, and we have, of course, lots more great discounts now. We're going to jump off the screen and jump in with our yellow beacon, the bear himself. We'll see whether he is on a road bike, a trike, or already on the mountain bike after the DCG on Tuesday. And I'm hoping he's on the other end of the phone line. Hello, Russ. A-up indeed. A-up indeed. Sorry, I'm just going to end up playing with the wheels all day long if I'm not careful. So I'm going to have to go put that down somewhere. Hang on a second. There we go. It's really, really nice. And once you put it on with the tyres and you get it spinning, it sounds great. And I had to take it off and clean it all because it wasn't looking particularly sparkly. So I had to strip down the mountain bike. But it's road bike day for me today. Have you been out on the bike today, Russ? I'm sure. And we are in France for Casse, the leg breaker, the destroyer of riders. And it's a busy old route, isn't it?
For at least one lap, and then have a play for the second lap and see what people do.
Indeed, and the more riders we get on this, the better, because it is a fast lap out, isn't it? Because we use the standard start, which is out onto the flat today.
Yeah, I think we standard out through the bottom, through the fields, the lavender fields, as they say it, and then yeah, we've got a little, what's it, the Petit KOM aqueduct. No, the aqueduct first, and then the actual KOM. They call that the Petit KOM, don't they?
They do, and that is quite simply because they have the big Von top, which we haven't been up for a while. But I don't know about you. I'm not feeling particularly mean. I've had a nice day out in the sunshine. Managed to let you go wander around with the dog as well to keep on keeping that training going. And of course, I even got a chippy tea. So my recovery wasn't any of the really well crafted OTE stuff today. My recovery today was a fish and chip tea, which was, I have to say, absolutely superb.
That's absolutely winning, that is, mate. We did fancy what we were last week. We came past a couple of chippies on the way home. Then we came round at lunchtime today, and it was like, ooh. I just came home and I think I might even beat you, mate. I had a crisp sandwich for lunch, which is absolutely working class, isn't it?
It is. That's top class. Is that what flavour crisp?
Sea salt and Chardonnay vinegar crisp from the Co-op, mate.
Posh crisp, then, basically.
Yeah, they weren't just ready salted whatever.
I don't know. And tonight, of course, we are on part 2 of Halo Wheels Week, and the giveaways continue. And plenty of our members are renewing into April. And, of course, we are here all the way through the year, aren't we? We were here all the way through the last lockdowns, right the way through the ups and downs of being released, the various tiers. But we don't get affected by that on Zwift, do we? So we're going to be here all the way through the summer into the autumn and right the way through the winter.
Yeah, we're here to stay, So the numbers are going to dip, but people are going to get out. If the weather ever turns bad, they'll come back. So we'll keep chipping away throughout the let's call it summer. Is it going to be a summer? We don't know, but we'll have some fun, and then we'll do some special giveaways and things. Keep everyone tight and happy.
Definitely, and I thought the Chaingang on Tuesday was amazing. I really, really loved it. I don't know about you, but not having 300 riders was a real bonus. Having sub 100 and everybody stayed together. There was, nobody played silly it's up the road, and everybody was. The only time it stretched was literally because we were riding mountain bikes around on a dirt road and nobody could see each other.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was easy to control as well. Saw everyone on screen that was actually in the ride. So yeah, it was good. It was tough though. I had a few messages from different people said, and people got some FTP increases. So it shows that you don't need 300 riders in order for it to be a good night. So let's see what we get tonight. But 150 is a great number, but some of the numbers we're having in the peak, 425 is just insane to say. We started this up over a year ago, and it was 35 riders first off. I think it's like next week is the year anniversary since we started. I think it was April the 7th. I think the first one. You might have it logged somewhere, Matt. But
I have somewhere, yeah.
I can't remember that far back.
I remember playing with the broadcast software going, this is never going to work. We'll have to find another way to do this. And we did. And the result, of course, is we now have something viewed by tens of thousands of people. We've got hundreds of thousands of impressions, of reach in terms of view. We've got a committee core and community, which is the most important thing for me. That is the most important thing, really, that we've got a whole community that supports each other and everybody buys into it, and people come along and wonder what it's going to be like. But that Facebook page with well over 2,000 people on, everyone looks after each other, and that is really does make it worth doing.
Yeah, it's like I posted there. I spoke to Johnny Two Dogs last night and this morning that he'd had to get down on his mountain bike and done his shoulder. It's like it's okay if I post on the group and tell everyone. The messages are just unbelievable. Probably I don't know how many people have actually met Johnny Two Dogs for real. Handful, but we're all sending good wishes and speedy recovery. So yeah. Thumbs up, Donny. Maybe stick to riding road bikes, mate. I know you're always banging on about these tubeless tyres and mountain bikes. Stick to the road, mate. You might have been safe. You wouldn't have gone in the canal then.
Well, that is always a danger if you're heading out and about. Now, I am seeing on screen the what looks to me like at least one trike has made it through. And I think it may even be our red beacon who is sat on a red trike. I'm waiting to get that confirmed, but I am actually seeing a trike. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Zwift get up to. And we'll see if that continues into the game for sure. With 5 minutes, we're going to let you go because we're going to go run through this course because it is a busy course. And hopefully we'll catch up with you a little bit later on in the show.
I might just give Zwift a call and see if he can give me one of those trikey things so I can just have like a laid back sit down ride, but I don't think they'll do it.
I think we should all be on trikes. It would be much, much better. Keep the group race on trikes tonight. That would have been fun. Anyway, Russ, we will catch up with you later on. Enjoy your warm up, honest, Gov.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
So great to catch up with Russ there. And we are just seeing on screen. I'm going to try and get you a little bit of a picture of our trike rider. We're just going to try and zoom in on them, which is easier said than done at this stage in the broadcast. But let's have a little bit of a look if we can get a little bit of a view in at our trike rider, who is right in the middle of that pack. So let's see if you can just about see it. Really tricky to get a view for you here. But we do have one trike in the pack. Sat there. There we go. Just about see the two wheels. If you've not been on Zwift and not been watching and bobbling the head away, it is brilliant. Now, hopefully, that would get onto the game. That's going to be very entertaining. So let's get across from that and let's head across to where we're heading. We're going out onto the course. We're going on to Casse into France, one of my favourite courses, although it does have the Petite KOM, and anybody who knows me will know I'm not such a fan of going uphill if I can help it. So we are going out and around Casse twice. We have a 0.9k leading. That's the little red section by the shore running into the marina. So if you can see your map at the moment, the little blue dot goes up the red section through the marina sprint and out towards the island. This is all pancake flat. We then run inland. And once we start following the river up, we go up towards the sprint. We go through the cobbled sprint, up the Aqueduct KOM. We work our way around and then go up the Petite KOM. And the Petite KOM is the tough section of the course. Then it is a fast downhill run into the finish. Now, Russ, as ever, is our yellow beacon on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. And don't forget, of course, next week we've got the Women's Wednesdays as well, with Emma taking on the yellow beacon duties there. But our red beacon tonight is Keith Richardson, so going to be interesting to watch how he gets on with the course today. Now, we talk about it being flat at the start. Let's show you just how flat. The start is directly in the centre. It is basically 3 squares along and just on the boundary of the first and second square upwards, heading up north. And as you can see, we run round and it is 12k, and the biggest gradient I think is 3% on the slightest section. Once you come up from that, you can just see there is a plateau at 13k. That is the Aqueduct KOM. So from the 12k up to 13k, you have a 1k climb. Part of that climb is the Aqueduct KOM. You then drop off. We come around through the village. The next sprint is about 15k. We come into the Petite KOM, and you can see by the size of it just how steep it is. The coloured gradients here on the Velo Viewer graphic, absolutely critical. They show you exactly what is in front of you. And the key part of this is that we can't let any gaps go in as you come up over the top and drop back down the slope, because if you let a gap open at the top, the speed of the run to the finish from basically 19.25k all the way down to that 23k mark, it is incredibly fast. Now, this is absolutely critical. This is the key thing to remember. Don't let the gaps go over the top, because you will not get back on. It takes a monumental effort to chase back on the way through, and that is absolutely critical. Now, let's see how our riders are getting on. They're lined up in the pens. We're now into the last minute at the moment. So we've got about 52 seconds to go. We're going to try and jump in with our beacon, our red beacon, who is sat on the back. We'll just try and get in with them on the way through. Easier said than done on at the moment on the course, but we will see just how fast we can get in there as these riders get ready to go. Remember, of course, going to be led out by Russ. The aim of this to stay together to start off with, and until we start heading into that key part, which is the go, go, go. And we may well roll out with the man who took a cracking ride and on the course that we used at the Tuesday ride on Halo Week, and that is with Kieran Smith. Kieran in the pink here, and as you can see, Kieran just rolling out on a pink concept bike with the pink level 20 jersey on as well. And good to see the numbers on the front, nice and steady on the way out as these riders make the way out onto course. So we are going to jump in with them live here on the Donny Cycling YouTube channel. We're going to jump in with all of these riders heading out on course. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's see who is going to be in riding smoothly in with the red beacon, who's going to be in with the guys in yellow, and of course, are we going to see a resurgence of any of these tracks heading back out on the course? We're soon going to find out. It looks to me like the track not making it out of the start gate at the moment, so just keeping an eye on our riders heading out, and one or two people just heading out a little bit late. Looks like our riders just pushing on towards that red beacon at the moment, and they're just going to reform. So here on the Donny Cycling YouTube channel, let's jump in with our riders live. So just jumping in with, I think it's Harrison Tacey, just getting a late start. And if there's one man that you know is going to be able to take this out, it is Tacey Von Top in the background as he starts to push his way forwards at the moment. And just going past Luke Waterhouse. That's the real Luke Waterhouse, by the way. Not one of the many imitations. And as you can see, Mr. Tacey just starting to push his way up and through. He's going to be heading in towards the gang as they come in towards the lap finish. Maybe he's just getting a clean look at the finish. Remember, we will be back down here in 2 laps time, and this is where the riders are going to need to jump in to. Now, just taking a little bit of a look at our beacons in here, I have a sneaky feeling our red is just up the road here, sitting in with the yellow at the moment, just getting a little bit of distance. So Tacey quickly into the group. We're going to just jump in, and it looks like Martin Bolt has inherited for red beacon. So Martin, at the moment, for some reason, you've inherited the red beacon, so it looks like it is a random allocation today. So let's see how Martin's going to get on tonight. I think Mr. Richardson, who is our red beacon, is a little bit further back. He's certainly playing the role, even though he is currently without his kit. So let's have a little bit of a look. It's going to be nice and steady, I think, for Mr. Dorsey tonight. Mr. Tickhill is just in front of Richardson. Waterhouse and Barrett behind. They're probably going to need to rejoin because they are well over a minute behind. So Mr. Richardson is our bus driver. He had a whole French baguette before he set off. He's got plenty of French snacks in here, and he's got vino on the bus as well, and you can just see there the bottle going in as well. Nice classic bike chrome forks on the front of the bike, I think, as well there. Part chrome forks and chrome half rear stays. Very nice it is too. So classic bike for our beacon. Tickers and Dorsey just in front. Looks like Richard Orrell just with Dorsey at the moment. So Dorsey's the slight and whippet-like rider in the white with the yellow, blue and orange stripes on his back. And just in front is Rich Orrell, who we're riding with in the green concept bike. And Rich, of course, member of the DCG gang, going to watch these riders. They continue their pursuit of our beacon. Just coming past Mr. Bolt at the moment. I think the Bolt is just going to be drifting back a touch to join Mr. Richardson and Tick Hill, who are a little bit further back. But you can see Rich just jumping in here. Just making his way on to Nick Dorsey. Now, our man in the trike, just remember, guys, it's still, even if it shows you as a trike, it is going to roll as a standard bike. So we are going to work our way through. There is a vicious rumour that leading out the entire chain gang is the trike. We'll soon find out if that is going to be the case. So indeed, we have our trike with us. He's in, he's on, and he's absolutely flying. Here we go. So our trike is going to be basically on the front. We're going to take a little bit of a look back. The Donny chain gang led out by trike. This is what we want to see on the chain gang, as that is what you want to be sat behind on the way through. So Keith Richards is on the trike, and the trike is rather good, although I'm not so sure that the wheels are holding up very well. Hopefully it'll stay together. So remember, guys, aim here is to hold the group together. Even if the trike is being super aero, it's a recumbent trike as well. So as you can see, going to be nice and aero on the front there. And at the moment, the entire Donny chain gang being led out by the trike in its moment of glory on its way through. Now, much as I'm enjoying this, and I have wanted to commentate on the trike for ages, really hard things to control if you've never had a go. So you can see at the moment absolutely flying. So let's take a little bit of a run back through the group, as the track at the moment is just leaving everyone in its dust. And we're going to roll back to Russ. Russ is in here. Keith's head is indeed rocking more than a Churchill dog in the back window of the van, that is for sure. And we're just taking a little bit of a run backwards to Keith Richardson. So here we go. Keith, Red Beacon is got Mark Tickle in here, and the guys are in here now. We're looking to see who's up the road. Looks like Sarah Grimshaw's just up the road. Don't go tearing those legs out, Sarah. We're meant to be going mountain biking tomorrow. First of the DCG gang members meet up, so there's going to be a bit of a meet up of a mountain bikers. Is it tomorrow or is it going to be Monday? I can never remember. It's a terrible thing being off at work and being at home, and got bank holidays coming up. Always fun, but going to see a few of our riders out and about, I'm sure, over the next 10 days or so. Don't forget, of course, the chain gang going to be coming to you all the way through the summer. And looks like we've got at least one more trike in action. So that's it. We've got two trikes in here. I'm just trying to work out who else is on the trike. It's is it going to be Mr. Cooper? We are going to work out who it is. Is it Shelley Charles? No, it's not. Is it Aidan Bishop? No, it is going to be Mr. Allen of Chefwreck. Bonus points and extra TV coverage for riding on a random strike in the Donny chain gang, that is for sure. So there are one or two riders just on the back of this group, just starting to feel the pressure. Looks like Wayne Barr just getting a bit of a drop out. Just got about 10 seconds to the back of the group. The Beacons, I think, enjoying the trikes in the group. This group, they're working quite hard at the moment to try and close the gap down to the riders in front. And they do need to pull that gap back. At the moment, it is going to be Lee who is in the firing line for letting the gap go. Bishop and Charles have seen the danger. They're moving over the top here, and just got... I think Tristan Empty's just dropping back to go give them a hand as well. So it looks like Empty's just dropping back a little bit. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a look. Looks like Craig Herring going back for Wayne Barr. So fantastic stuff. So Wayne Barr been getting some assistance here. So Craig Herring coming back for Wayne, and you just see Craig just starting to push on here now. Wayne Barr is a real good rider, but riding back to a group on your own is virtually impossible, and that's why you need assistance, and that's what he's got. So here we go. So the work being done here. Wayne Barr closing down on the group, being dragged on by Herring. Mr. Bolt, no, it isn't an April Fool by you being the beacon. I suspect it's a glitch in the system. It's not the only time it's happened. So our riders now on the bridge. They're going to head across and outwards, and if you take a little bit of a look at the map, you can just see we're coming back inland from the island, from those wiggles out on the island, and this group just about holding together at the moment. One or two riders feeling the pressure at the back, but this is a nice smooth roll in. So it looks like we've got Katie Coldclough back in with us again. Good to see Katie in here. And just going to have a little bit of a check through the groups. Thank you everybody who's joined the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club for April. The DCG gang already doing the draw for Halo Week, and long-time supporter and all year round member. That's somebody who's got the membership for all of 2021. Is Brian Smith, and Brian Smith Smithy has taken the win for those. Was the random number generator pulling that out. We have been asked if we were going to pull professional riders, celebrities, etc. from the draws, and the answer is no, quite simply because the support that we get from our professional riders, from our celebrities who join the gang and they're members just like anybody else, we want to look after them equally, and the random number generator is truly random. In fact, as we go through the year, those people who are on the end of the who are in the yearly, they are going to be looking forward to getting discounts all the way through the year. The OTE, just for Craig Herring, the OTE discount is extending onwards. We've got to say a massive thank you to Annie at OTE. Now the OTE discount for April is going to be 20%, and that discount code and all of the discount codes, so the discounts for Oakley's with 1080, with OTE, with the guys at Grand Tour Coffee, Pretty Gritty have upped their discount. It's got up to 20% this month as well. We've got 10% on the coffee. We've got a special on Halo Wheels. Remember, Halo Week, 15% discount for members of the DCG gang. This week only, so you need to be in it to get that discount. And don't forget, of course, the OTE one, very popular. Don't forget, of course, that we have got the Fella Skin are still giving out free samples. There's a set of samples per rider, so make sure that you get yourselves your free sample. At the moment, we're just seeing this group start to split just in front of Russ. Looks like everybody too busy thinking about filling up the baskets and opening up the watts, and not looking at the gaps behind. So the front just maybe picking up the pace a little bit. Either that or everybody behind was half asleep. So just going to roll back through. Looks like Joe Jarvis in this group, just running in with Joe. So Joe in the blue and the regular on the women's ways, as well as on the main Tuesday and Thursday chain gang. We say the main one, the Tuesday and Thursday chain gang, is the chain gang that is open to absolutely everybody. Meanwhile, yep, just taking a little bit of a look, it looks like the front group have got a little bit carried away and just opening up the gaps. Remember, it's a long, fast, flat run through France here as the guys go on. Now, other things we've got up for grabs for our riders. Don't forget, we have the Yellow Beacon Blend Coffee. We also have the Downing Double Day, and that's been used to good effect. And as Ian Taylor would say, high on life and high on caffeine is always a good place to be, and somewhere I try and stay most of the time. And certainly the stuff doing the business, really good taste as well. Great blend from Ben Jenkins, and of course, don't forget to get in touch with Russ for those. We have, of course, all of the links going direct to our riders in the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, so no having to join ride by ride. Don't forget, of course, all of those links go direct to the members of the DCG gang, and they go direct to the inbox, and that, of course, is all part of the service, all part of us saying thank you. And that is quite simply to say thank you for looking after the chain gang, looking after the members, and keeping the show on the road. Now, let's take a little bit. It looks like Barrett at the moment of the Tenby Aces, currently just distance from that lead group. 21 seconds behind. It looks like there's Cookie and Bolt, Richardson and Tickers at about 26 seconds. So I suspect that bus is going to be forming. And here we go. This is our Beacon group. So this group is going to get back together again. Come on, Cookie, kick those pedals round. So this is going to be the bus, the Lanterne Rouge at the back, and all getting it together. That's what we want to see. They're going to be chasing down the first rider they're likely to see is going to be Barrett. And Barrett now going to be taking that turn in and over the bumps on the inland now. Sandy Smith, one of our real regulars on the chain gang through the winter, is back with us again. And good to see Sandy back in. Super fast, super tough. And one of those riders who could head off in to the distance when the go is given. That's going to be a little while yet as these riders in and over the bridges. And it looks like Russ is rolling around the back of the group at the moment. There's a few eager beavers up on the front who are going to pay the price later. That is for sure. So good to see the group rolling around together here, all working nice and smoothly. And certainly looks to me like everybody's well aware that there is plenty more riding to be done. Everybody getting in the drift of exactly how the ride will go. Remember, of course, what is going to happen, that the riders are going to find the pace will pick it up once we go in towards that signal from Russ, but at the moment everything rolling pretty smooth. Mr. Richards is in there, still sat on his trek in the bunch, and really looking forward to no doubt going to be seeing a few pictures of that coming out on the old social media, that is for sure. Don't forget, of course, to make sure you tag the Donny Chaingang in. It's at Donny Chaingang. Tag myself, that's at Matt Fixabane, and make sure you tag in Russ as well. So Russ Downing, and make sure you get those in on social media. And we're always entertained by those, always looking forward to seeing people's posts on social media. And at the moment, plenty of riders in here keeping the gang together. And as we just jump in on Mr. Hilton, quickly in and up to the side of Russ there. So just keeping an eye on these riders. It's certainly looking like this group is well together, and just ticking on nicely. Let's see, Shelley Charles is back in with us. Mr. Buzzard back once again. He's the rider in the yellow and black, just on the side here. Another of our really fast riders. So once that signal is given, Mike Killingsworth at the moment just sat in the back of the group, and the rider on their own is going to be Barrett at the moment, and it's Barrett who's going to have to make a decision here. Pushing out 3.3 watts per kilo, it is going to be a bit of an effort to stay clear of the rest of the group behind. That group behind are going to work hard at going to see where the riders end up. The thumbs up raining down on Barrett at the moment from the Turn Aces. In front is going to be Craig Herring, and Craig Herring as we go into the sprint. So good to see Craig Herring here. Craig, of course, the lunatic who's going to spend 24 hours riding on Zwift in not too distant future. Riding, of course, for a mental health charity, and great to see he is getting the miles in ready. I know he's done quite a few hours on the Chaingang, and don't forget, of course, he's going to be using, I'm sure, Velaskin products. So that absolutely critical to be sitting comfortably. And don't forget, of course, Velaskin, one of the key supporters of the Donny Chaingang. If you are a Donny Chaingang member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, don't forget, of course, that discount code is in there that will keep you getting a discount, and B, of course, keep us getting the support as well. Now, good to see the riders keeping it all together. Craig Herring just confirming the wonderful miracle properties of Velaskin. It has to be said, very good. I was out today, did a much lesser distance, 2.5 hours out on the bike, and definitely absolutely critical. I have to say, it was definitely a weather for the clear lenses in the Oakleys from 1080. It was definitely not a day for the sunny shades. That is for sure. In the space of 24 hours, it went from being 20 plus degrees to 6 degrees out on the bike today. It was blooming freezing. I can't think of a polite version of that, to be honest. It was so cold out today in comparison. It was horrible. Now, just taking a little bit of a look. Looks like Joe Jarvis just sitting down near the back of this group with Richardson, and with Dorsey and Bishop down here, John Garfoot. Looks like Fox just rolling around in this group at the back. Just going to keep an eye on these riders. AD Dage, no stranger to spending a lot of time on Zwift after having done the Land's End to John Groats. He's just up the road. And remember, this is all about keeping it together. It's got to get pulled back in together. We're going to try and get up over the big climb, because remember, this at least levels off when we go over the Petite KOM. It doesn't. So here we go, the riders on the way up on towards this fantastic bridge here. The Von Top in the background, and as you can see, our riders leading this up and over onto the bridge. One or two managing to levitate the way out and around the side. We're just riding in with Nick Dorsey at the moment as our camera just pans across and tries to dodge those trees on the way through. So our riders are now making their way underneath the KOM, the Aqueduct KOM, and looks like the time 52 seconds that will be latted out, that is for sure. Joe Jarvis and Katie Colclough coming in around about that minute mark, or sat in the middle of the group, but the times are pretty much irrelevant at this stage, quite simply because the aim is to keep the group together at the moment. Russ just sitting about mid-pack at the minute, and you just see a number of people just starting to use the power-ups in there. The power-up is the Zwift way of keeping the game variable, to throw in a few different ways that the game can be changed. So you can see two different power-ups. You can see an aero helmet that reduces the aerodynamic drag by about 10%. You can see the drafting one, which is the shape of a van, and that improves the advantage of sitting in the wheels by about the same amount. The drafting one generally regarded as being the better one because it allows you to rest in the wheel a little bit more and just save a little bit of energy. So Russ just keeping an eye on those riders in front. Looks like there's a little bit of a split forming. So just going to roll up to Russ's group here as he just gets in the group, the front, just pushing on maybe a little bit too hard at the moment. It's doing some damage at the back of the group behind you. You can see one or two riders just starting to be distanced off the back here. People scrabbling for wheels just to not let those gaps go. So the front group are rolling back together. We're going to take a little bit of a look behind, and looks like none just pushing on at the back of this group, and it's all coming back together again. Good to see Mark Grant sitting in here. Phil Lavery's back with us as well, and good to see Mr. Lavery in the group, one of the very fast men on the Chaingang, that is for sure, and certainly looking really good at the moment. Just seeing Liam Mazzoni go in the group, so Leon is in here, and Leon at the moment going for a superpower workout of riding on the mountain bike, so still on the mountain bike. I think probably from Tuesday, to be honest, unless he's been out and around the Watopia Islands. Meanwhile, that trike is riding well. I'd love to know the aerodynamics of the trike, because it certainly seems to be holding its own pretty comfortably in that group. So the pack holding together. We're going to dive our cameras right through the middle of the pack with the Von Top in the background. Owen Davis sitting in the group comfortably here as we track our way around, coming in towards the church turn. This is the full sweeping horseshoe turn, and a great place to spot riders if they are clear when we come round on lap number 2. It's a great place to be able to see what's going on in the groups in front. You come sweeping round this turn, and you can often pick up a view of where the beacon is, where the riders are behind, if you're able to move your camera around at the same time as ride. Some of the riders can do this. A number of riders actually developing their own joysticks like we have, to enable us to control pretty much all the cameras from the fingertips. So that's whether we want to look directly in from the side, whether we're going to jump up with our drone cam, whether we are going to sit and watch the riders go by from the side of the road, all at your fingertips. And that's what it pays to have as a rider. If you're going to go out and race, you get to be able to see where everyone is. Doesn't matter if you're off the front, but if you're a rider who's fighting for wheels, a bit like me, then it definitely helps on the way through. Now, looks like Ian Bibby at the moment just distanced a little bit, just pushing back into the group. Bibby on that purple and black bike at the moment in the digital blue camo. So Charlie Babbitt just rolling in to the back of that group. We're just going to take a quick check back before we head on to the KOM, and we're going to drop off Alfie Steed, and we're going to drop back in to the Red Beacon group. The Red Beacon group now a group of 5 riders. So Barrett, Tickhill, Cookie, Bolt and Richardson in this group. Richardson by far and away a very comfy rider at the front of the group, and certainly looks to be in there. Looks like Martin Bolt jumping into those Red Beacon duties as well. In some ways it's a bonus when we get the Red Beacon allocated to the wrong rider, because we get the original Red Beacon and the other Red Beacon, our standing Red Beacon as well, working together. We can always rely on the Chaingang riders to jump in. If you want to have a go at being the Red Beacon, you're always welcome, but you do need to get your name in to our spreadsheet supremo. That is Gail Phillips. At the moment, I think we are full right through to the end of June, but remember, of course, we're here right the way through 52 weeks of the year, and we'll be bringing you the Chaingang all the way into the finish. Now, we're going to just take a little bit of a jump up the road, then we're going to jump in with the main pack here. Let's get up in the sky with the helicopter as our riders start to make their way up towards the climb. So let's just take a little bit of a check on this group. Russ just saying he's going to head back to see what's going on. Well, I think at the moment the group is just about holding its own, and it's just Lindley at the back at the moment, and Kai Hurst. Well, Hurst, we know he's definitely more than capable of riding in with the group. Kai, the rider in the green with the pink wheels and the pink Swift concept bike. So this group makes its way up on to the slopes. One or two people just stretching it a little bit on the front, and the aim here is to keep everybody else together to hold the wheels together. So indeed, Russ has definitely shifted back for coffee and churros. He's not alone in that one. They'll go down very well right at this moment in time. But our group's riding through together well at the minute. Just watching Ken Carrigan of Chef Wreck in the group at the moment. We try and feature as many of our riders, particularly, of course, riders who are members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Now, looks like his Rusty's crisp butty has worn off. He's going to need to refuel properly, I'm sure, but I'm sure he's got plenty of super carbs from OTE in the bottle. Keep him firing on all cylinders on the way up the climb. Just watching Dixon just at the moment, just dropping back a little bit here. And these riders, Craig Herring, just rolling around at the back at the moment. Certainly looks a little bit at the moment like Dixon just rolling to the back to sit around Russ. Gaps just opening a little bit further up the road, just ahead of Keith Richards, and you can see very quickly the riders on the front just dropping back in. A whole host of thumbs up. Russ, you're not dropped, mate. I promise you, there's no gaps up there. Those people out the front are backed right off on the watts because we're watching the front simultaneously as watching the rear. The advantages of having 5 big screens on the go, plus a couple of mobile devices as well, handhelds, so is that we can watch simultaneously everything going on. So let's take a little bit of a look. This group is just about holding together. Remember, the key here is to keep it backed off as you go off over the top of the climb, because that is where things will change. Russ saying he can't climb, just like real life. If that were true, then he wouldn't have had the career that he had. That's just Russ being modest, it has to be said. So good to see a young Mr. Oliver just sat in here. Just seeing the riders just trying to keep it all super smooth together. Mr. Ozake of the DCG and Sitwell, mate, you wanting one of those turbos that were up for grabs, give us a shout. We still have that left. Same for Mr. Hind. If you're watching, just give us a shout. Now, if you are up at the front, guys, please remember that when we get up to the top, you need to back right off because the gaps will really open up as we come through. There's no cake at the top today. If you hadn't heard, France is actually in lockdown. The biggest group of riders that go more than 6k from the door is the Donny Chaingang out in France today. So just in with Rumble at the moment. David Rumble, one of our members of the DCG gang. He's been a member. Don't forget, if you are a member of the DCG gang at any point in 2021, you can join the DCG gang Swift Power team. The Swift Power team, basically, Swift Power is how you know that the people you're racing against aren't weight doping, that they are not riding on a solid spinner or doing anything daft, because the categories on Zwift Power shows you all of the correct powers. You get a good idea of how people are riding properly. And remember, of course, they are the best way to see what events are on as well. Now, Zwift Power, of course, we have the DCG, the Donny Chaingang team on Zwift Power, and you can join that. Just search for the Donny Chaingang. You do need to have been a member at some point in 2021 of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. That is the only stipulation. You don't have to be quick, you don't have to be fast, you don't have to be an A+ category like Mr. Richardson, who is our allocated Red Beacon, even if he's not edited in there. Don't forget, of course, that you can be a much slower rider like me and still be in that team, and it's there to give you some teammates on the way through. Now, as these riders come around that top left hand turn, the front are going to be under some fairly strict orders, I think, to back off. I think the Russ is going to be on that message board sooner rather than later, because we're coming up, we've only got literally a turn or two to go. There you go, no sooner said than done. So Russ just asking for everyone back to yellow, because you can see the tents coming up at the front, and this is where we don't want to see riders going off at the front, because quite simply it will split the group apart. This is where we get to see whether that trike can hold it together on the way down. A little bit further back you can just see a number of riders just distance. Looks like Dixon and Hopkinson just a little bit pushed back. Kerrigan, Lindley, Bishop, so the back, but chasing it hard here. Then it's going to be our Red Beacon group behind. So at the moment there are one or two riders. So it looks like Bishop and Lindley at the moment are the riders being distanced. You just see Bishop coming behind on that Zwift concept bike at 5 watts per kilo up this climb. He's going to stick in a very, very fast time up here, and that's going to be because he's going to come from the back to the front. So Bishop dropping off the back and waiting to go up the top. That was very generous of you, sir. So we're just going to jump in with Mr. Bishop as he continues to push in. You can see the riders behind him. Bishop is working hard to get back into the group. He should get a really quick time up here. So just going past Ken Kerrigan, and Kerrigan just distance. Remember, if you're putting in a great ride behind the yellow beacon, we're going to feature you. That is for sure. And you can just see Bish really pushing on to come towards the top of the Petite KOM. And going to get up and around the turn. We know Bish on that concept bike, on the Tron bike, is going to be in at the back of the group of riders pretty quickly, just jumping in with him for this descent down, as he's going to no doubt jump in with the yellow beacon. You see it rolls quickly over the top here, and then we're on our run down in towards the descent, and at the moment Bish is pushing up towards that yellow beacon. Our cameraman just trying to get low and fast as he goes down. You can just see Bish putting in the draft in there. So that is extra drafting from that beacon, from that power up, sorry, on the way down. So that's going to help him get back in again, get a breather. And you can see the gaps are opening up. There's going to need to be a big regroup here. Looks like Craig Harry's going to try and give him a bit of a toe back in here as they try and roll back down. The track definitely holding its own on this run down. Herring's having to put in about 10 watts per kilo to get onto the group, and this is the power of drafting on Zwift. It's all about staying in the draft, that is for sure. So Bishop working his way into the group here, and certainly it looks like he's doing a great job of getting his way into that front group. We're going to just work our way back a little bit, because you can just see it is starting to fracture. Looks like Wayne Barr and Owen Davis at the moment. That's Davis on the front in the black and green, that alien wear kit. Then it is going to be Barr immediately behind, just taking a little bit of a look down the road. You can just see it is fracturing, and behind as well. So Grant and Gibbons are the riders. So this is Gibbons at the moment. Grant just in front. Gibbons on his own as well. Just taking a little bit of a look back. Hopkinson's about 4 seconds behind. And then it's going to be Kerrigan and Lindley who are descending down the hillside. That they are a fair distance back now. And it shows you just how quickly it opens up as you go up over the top. Wolf at the moment, I think, is going to be waiting. Oxenham, realistically, is the last of the riders who's likely to get back in touch. So this group here with Oxenham leading along west, Babbitt, Colclough in here. Looks like Sam Emsley in this group. This is the group that's likely to make contact on the flat section. As we drop down, you watch the top right hand side of your screen. The gradient is going to peel off, -3, -2. It quickly will drop to 0. This group have got the momentum to roll into the back of the pack here. They've got a good lead out man here in the shape of Oxenham now. Russ just sitting on the back of that pack. So I'm going to just take a little bit of a look, and it looks to me like Russ is just making sure the riders at the back of the group roll it together again. So it looks like he's got buzzard for company. There are 2 riders just a little bit further back. This is going to be Alfie Steed. Come on, Alfie, don't push on, mate. Try and get into that group. It's got West, not all that far behind. Wayne Barr, I think, and Davis are going to be struggling. He's going to see. Let's have a little bit of a check here. So it looks like young Mr. Wolf, Tom Wolf it is just getting some encouragement a little bit further back as we come round in towards the finish line for the penultimate time. It's Wayne Barr just and Davis a little bit further back. They've got Grant not too far back again. This is where you've got to work together as a group. And Wolf is in this. Well, these riders need to work together. If they don't work together, they're going to get distance now. Alfie Steed really does need to put in a big kick here. You've got to get on the back of those wheels, mate, because it's going to accelerate out. And it looks like Russ just rolling out the back there, just taking a little bit of a dive out the side. We're going to try and jump in with Alfie Steed. It looks like Steed is pushing on here, and Davies just gone back for him now. We could do 1 or 2 other riders just peeling back a little bit. I think we're going to see Nick Dorsey doing it, that is for sure, as Dorsey is here. So Nick Dorsey just seen Alfie Steed coming up on to his wheels in that Bianchi green, and you can see Dorsey now picking it back up again. It looks like these riders really are working together to join the group here. So some fantastic riding as these riders get back in again. Have we got all of our riders in that group back together again? There's a group of 4 that are a substantial way back, but it looks to me like now Wayne Barr's currently at 18 seconds. Grant and Tom Wolf a bit further back. We're going to have a double check on that because they're, I think, on the join of the map, as the saying goes. As just taking a little bit of a look here. Stables just in with the group there. And as you can see, the jump in the page, always an entertaining moment if we go flying around. And SR68, can't say your name if you don't put it on the screen, mate, is going to have some company, as Stables is now trying to push back in. Looks like Stables getting some real dropouts at the moment. Hardwire, hardwire, hardwire. That's the answer every time. Now, the front guys, we need you to come rolling back in, please. Back to yellow. Got a big split at the moment just in front of Russ. If you're behind Russ, just be aware we're going to get a pull back together. That is the aim at the moment. And I think Barr is seeing them riding into this. He's putting down 4.3 watts per kilo. He's continuing to try and push on. That's a big effort, though. So it looks like Grant has got company here. Looks like Tom Wolfe in the red and black. Davis in the green with the alien skull on the back here as well. And then just keeping an eye because it looks like Grant really is trying to push this group onwards. Just in front then SR68 and Wayne Barr chasing hard. But Buzzard is sitting at the back of the main group. And just going to take a little bit of a roll up the front to make sure everybody is all back together again. It's not a cob, it's not a bap, it's a chip butty, mate. You're in Yorkshire, not in anywhere else. Chip butties is where it's at. Cobs and baps, I don't know. Okay, let's have a little bit of a check here. The guys are working well. So Russ just making sure he's got to keep the vernacular correct in the Downing household. That's certainly the case over here as well. Now, just having a little bit of a look. Keith Richardson just taking a little bit of a roll off the back. He's got the power. Keith Richardson, he's fastest man in the Zwift power team at the moment. He's more than capable of getting back. I've just seen Barrett just a distance a little bit, going to just push on as our red beacon drops down the hill. Just jumping in with our group up the road, and this is going to be the Wolf, Grant and Davis group. We're sandwiched in between, I think it's Kerrigan as well. We're going to go up to Waterhouse at the moment, just distanced by our beacon group. And looks to me like Oliver just having to work a little bit hard. He's at 8.4 watts per kilo. So Oliver doing a good job of pushing on from the back, and that is absolutely critical. That's the way to get back into the group. Ian Bibby now just sitting and rolling about the back of the bunch is normal. The rumours that he ate all the pies, it's definitely not the case. His avatar's looking disgustingly slim these days. Oh, Trike is back! The Trike is back, Revenge of the Trike. Mr. Richards is doing an awesome job on that. I have no idea how he is managing to concentrate with that underneath his wheels. Just try and jump in with him. You see, it's actually harder to actually jump in than it is to find him. So let's have a little bit of a... let's see if we can get him. It's easier said than done. Here we go. Whoop. Here we go. How is he even concentrating riding on the recumbent ice cream trike that is in there? It's definitely a Mario Kart job, and definitely a surreal moment watching the Donny Chaingang with two trikes in the midst. They're not even like proper racing trikes. The racing trike is fast and incredibly... it's a lot of skill to pilot, that is for sure. Anyone who's ever ridden one will tell you if you ride a bike a lot and used to leaning into corners, it feels very weird with no lean on the trike. You have to steer it round and throw your body off the side of it. And one man who should be good on a cycling trike is Mike Killingsworth. And Mike Killingsworth, of course, is rider on the trike, the motorised variety of three-wheeler, and is the passenger around the Isle of Man. And he's used to throwing his weight about. So this group all nicely together behind. We have a few packs of riders. Looks like Waterhouse and Barr are together at the moment. So Wayne Barr in the grey. Looks like Luke Waterhouse in the pink and blue. Nice throw, man. Then back to Hilton. So Hilton just looking for some company. I think it's going to be SR68. And then Mark Grant, who is coming behind. So Grant at the moment, and Davis. There's a bag of... So Chris, for you, Russ, if you manage to wait long enough for these guys, I'm sure they've got one in the back pocket. Bit further back, then it's going to be Hopkinson and Kerrigan. Kerrigan with Gibbons and Lindley. Then it's going to be the red bus, the beacon is in here. So Keith Richardson, the driver of the bus, Martin Bolt, the perpetual red beacon. Looks like Zwift has defaulted to the man who's done it more than any times, more than any other, sat in the group there, and it looks like everybody working well together in this group of 5. Now we're going to take a little bit of a run up the road once again and try and jump in with our main group here. Let's have a little bit of a look at the back now. We're coming into these slight roller coasters, and Kai Hurst at the moment is just rolling around at the back again. He's more than capable of getting into this group, and looks like Hurst currently at 3 seconds wait for him to put the afterburners on and kick in. Then going to take a little bit of a look at the back here. So it looks to me like Buzzard and Jarvis just on the back of that group. Buzzard just rolling around to take the gap in, and looks pretty smooth there. That's what we want to see. So this group riding well. We've got about 30k at the moment, 31.2k. So this group is nicely together. Just seen Sam Emsley just at the back. Good to see Sam back on the back. He's come past Mont Saint Michel. Looks like Rapinski is also sat in that the back of that pack, looking comfy. Langmead in there. Hang on a minute, I've just had a little look. It looks like Russ has just said the magic words. Is that for real? Or we're going to have to just double check that, because I just heard Russ put a little one on there. It's because it certainly looks like everybody's reacting. Oh, April Fool typo. Russ, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. You caught a few people, and it's beyond 12 o'clock. It looks to me like you're going to get caught out yourself here, mate, if you're not careful, because the guys at the front are certainly starting to lift it at the moment. It is starting to stretch. So back to yellow shout from Russ, guys. Back to yellow, please. Now let's see who is listening indeed. It's 12 p.m. in Swift somewhere, I promise you. So here we go. Let's keep a check here. That looks like Emsley just rolling at the back here. Cooper, Jarvis, Charlie Babbitt, I think just off the pacer, just may well have had a drop out at the moment. So let's keep an eye. So at the moment, it looks like there's a little bit of an error on the old keyboard. The pedals still having about 10 cut and paste open, ready to go. So let's have a look. Let's keep an eye on these riders. The group's come back together again. Nobody wants to go too early here, because it is a horrible route with that kick at the finish. And just taking a little bit of run up here, it looks to me like pretty much everyone is back together again. And this is what we want to see. Great control as Mr. Herring throws a net over everybody and drags them back in together. Really impressive stuff. But now coming in land, and this means that we're going to get onto these slight roller coasters, and this is when gaps start to open. If you look at the back of that bunch, it is starting to get stretched out there. So behind our beacon, it is indeed starting to get a little bit more interesting. Let's take a little bit of a jump up. So looks like Tim Cooper having to push on the pedals. Looks like Oliver's doing the same. There's still plenty of riders feeling the pace back here. We're going to try and roll back, see what those gaps are. So here we go. This is the groups that are being distanced. Let's jump in. So Sam Emsley, looks like Clark, Dixon, Cooper in here as well. Joe Jarvis in this group now. They can see that yellow beacon. They can see Rick Vandergate in front. They can see the yellow, and the pressure is on at the front. It's starting to shed riders. Just taking a look, looks like Nunn and Beefy. Colin Bell from Cycleways just starting to feel the pressure, being distanced by the lead group. You can see that chasing group behind. They are currently sitting at about 6 seconds behind. It's 6 seconds equidistant to the leaders in front. The big group are sitting at 6 seconds. If we jump in at the back of that group, you can take a little bit of a look back. You can see the chase is on behind, and it looks like the trike has finally been shed. Rich is just being distanced out of that group, so it is starting to take its toll on the riders behind. The pace just starting to build. Good to see Leon still sat on that mountain bike, working well. And at the moment it's Mosley on the back of the group here. So Mosley at the moment. So it looks like Richard's in the trike, making his way back up. Those things are amazing. And at the moment, everybody working well. So here in a full-on typical French scene from when we were able to go over and ride in France. You can just see the sunflowers at the side, the Avon top in the distance. We're going to be coming in to the next little village. The sprint is the Pavé Sprint reverse, and the times will be quicker this time around. That's quite simply because the pack is rolling faster, but it's all about the run in to the finish. Who's going to make it up to the top of the Petite KOM in that lead group? Another nice big pack in here. Just rolling with the lead at the moment. Scotland is sat nicely in this group. So here we go, the real go, go, go has gone. It has gone. It is a go, go, go. The real go, go, go has gone. He's done it as they've rolled through the sprint line. That's a really, really, really mean trick. And look at this. He really has pushed the pace up, because you can see on the front, everybody's now nailing it. Nobody wants to get left behind. This group are working so fast at the moment. Just in with Hutchinson at the moment. All these riders know that the pressure is on. Just going to keep an eye on Lloyd in here. And Lloyd looking super smooth at the moment. But the gaps are opening behind this leading group. You can just see the group with Russ in the yellow beacon in here. It is very quick indeed. We've still got one of the trikes sat in here. Please let it be a trike win. I want a trike win. If you're in that leading group, you've got a trike. You've got to let it win now. Shelley Chow's really having to get out of the saddle, sprinting to get back in here. Ian Bibby is in the right place at the right time. He's in that group. We're coming round the turns out. Remember, we're going to be coming in next to the Aqueduct KOM. You can see it coming up on your map. It's a long straight section. That's the top of the aqueduct, the viaduct as you go over the top. And at the moment, it is very, very fast indeed. Coldclough trying to get across it. Just in case Coldclough out of the saddle. Looks like Sheldon Hall has got Mazzoni's wheel at the moment. And Coldclough is going to make this, I think, as they come in now. We are just rolling on to the start of the gradient. It's uphill all the way into the aqueduct from here. Already seeing feather flags going in. And that is a dangerous thing to do, because you're using it early. It may be that people have got no choice. And Tacey at the moment has come on to the front. The late joiner is just stretching his legs out now at 8.6 watts per kilo. That is a big old stretch at the moment, and Downing has responded to this. You can see behind, Downing's trying to respond, trying to close that gap down. This is going to smash the group apart behind. You can see they are in ones and twos. It's one long dripping line behind the main blob here as it comes up, and at the moment you can see Russ chasing hard to get that gap down. Kieran Smith in the pink is the nearest rider to Tacey at the moment. So you can just see Tacey is going to be the rider who's going to come underneath that gantry first. Then it's Smith, Downing, Oxenham, Whitelaw, Thorpe, Zanderpool. It is going to be Zander coming across just in front of Phil Lavery, then Bishop, Hutchinson, Goddard, Fox and Lloyd now. Who is going to make this leading group? The pressure put on by Tacey up that climb has ripped the ride to pieces. Look at all of the dots on that map. They are just a one long line of dot to dot. You can follow the course. Long way back, about 2k I think at the moment, with a reasonably solid line of dots, certainly line of sight. But at the moment this is our leading group. So at the moment Simon Oxenham in the grey making his way up. It looks like Whitelaw now moving up on to the front of the group here. So Paul Whitelaw with his legs spinning around like there's no tomorrow. He's got no heart rate on. Interested to see. I'll be interested to see. Paul's one of the older riders in the group. And certainly at the moment showing that living in the Lake District is a good move. Certainly a rider powered by ice cream. He's out in the sunshine and ice cream today. And good to see Mr. Whitelaw in action once again. So a Whitelaw keeping the riders honest on the front there. Smith in this group. Thorpe is in here as well. Now Thorpe, another of our regular riders up in the front groups of the ride. Now can these five keep the distance? Can they keep the gap back? It's 7 seconds at the moment to the chasers behind, containing Bishop and Allen. This is our chasing group being led out by Allen on the trike. They're all tucked in behind the trike wheels at the moment. Phil Lavery's in here. They've got to give that man a rest. They've got to get onto the back wheel, and you can see they have the strength in depth here. They've got big numbers and strong riders. Aidan Bishop looks like Adi Dencher, Daryl Tattershaw Waller, Phil Lavery in here. Fox is in here. This really is a who's who, and this is going to be really interesting as they push on. They're trying to close down the gap on our leading riders up at the front there, and it is incredibly tight at the moment. There's not much to choose between them. It's sitting at about 4 seconds. It's my estimation. I'm just going to try and ignore the screen on the right hand side, and you can just see at the moment that Daryl Tattershaw Waller and Lloyd of the riders trying to close that gap down. Everybody's rolling on. Stables at the moment putting in a big move on the front to try and close that gap down. And Stables, it is currently sitting up at 7.1 watts per kilo. So Stables at the moment trying to push on at 7 watts per kilo. He's opened a gap on the rest of the riders. I don't think he thought they were catching quick enough. Now Stables is trying to get across. Can he close this gap down? We're going to come round the turn at the moment. Here he comes. He's going to make that turn. Oh, it's so close at the moment. Stables working hard, but it's one man behind. The group are working in a more fractured manner. They need everybody to take a turn. They do have enough riders in there to make a difference. Remember, we're going to go up on to the big climb of the Petite KOM. It's not far away here, and the leading riders at the moment just starting to distance Russ. It looks like those Chris, he needed to get something a little bit stronger flavoured in there. Maybe a bit of chili in those Chris, because at the moment those Chris are not fueling Russ enough to get on there. That'll teach him. So let's have a little bit of a look back here. Stables has gone clear. Is he going to be able to hold him off? He knows that if he's got a gap over the top, he may be able to get in there. But we've got this big climb coming up. Let's get back up with the leaders. We're in with Tacey on the front at the moment. Whitelaw in the orange, sitting right in those wheels in the multicoloured green camo, the green and blue camo. That is Thorpe. Kieran Smith, Tuesday's winner on the Swift concept bike, on the pink concept bike. Then it's going to be Russ Downing riding in that La Vie Claire inspired, the Mondrian Zwift kit there, and rolling onto the back wheels here. Interestingly, Kieran, the only one who's riding on a Zwift concept bike, the rest on various versions of fast bikes on a fast course, behind Stables, currently at 4 seconds behind, and it's going to be about 8 seconds back to the chasing, 10 seconds according to our screens to the chasing group, but we're now coming on to the climb. You can see the zigzags unfolding in front. This is a long sweeping turn that drags you into the climb, and at the moment this is still anybody's game. If that group behind got themselves together, they might be able to close the gap down, but not enough riders are working at the moment to be able to close the gap. Stables is sat in no man's land. His legs are really going to be feeling it now. He put in a really big effort. He's now putting in something a little bit more conservative at about 5.7 watts per kilo. That gap, though, is still sitting at 3 seconds to Russ and about 4 seconds to our leaders. And at the moment, it's Thorpe who's starting to push. We're riding in with Tacey, currently man 4 in this group. Out of the saddle, goes up onto the wheels. He's going to come up onto the heels of Thorpe. Thorpe put in a little bit of a kick here, but this is our leading group. So it's Tacey at the moment on the front there. Then Thorpe, Whitelaw, Smith and Downing all together as they come up on to this climb here. Let's see, the right hand turn comes in. Stables is not far behind. Are we going to see an aggressive attack on the climb here, or are we going to see the riders wait for the sprint? If they wait for the sprint, is anybody going to bet against Kieran Smith? He's absolutely phenomenal in the sprint. Tacey potentially the rider who needs to attack and take this out early. You've seen Thorpe putting in a power up here. So Thorpe just putting a power up in, stretching his legs a little bit onto the front, keeping that pace high. He's going to stop them attacking. He's opened a slight gap on Smith now. Thorpe with a little bit of a gap, but Kieran Smith riding smoothly across there, not panicking. Only lifting it up to 6 watts per kilo as they come up onto the climb. Only 6 watts per kilo. Excuse me. If you ride regularly on the Swift, you'll know. If you're a regular rider, you'll know that is a phenomenal number to kick out. And you can see our 4 leaders plus Russ just starting to get distanced here. Russ pushes back onto those wheels though, and you can just see Downing looking smooth again on there. 64 revs per minute for Tacey at the moment. Downing sitting in this group, currently heart rate 153. How much more has he got left in the tank? Well, we're going to find out, because we are nicely approaching the halfway point on this climb. We come around the next left-hand turn. The riders will know that they've basically got 2 right-hand zigs and 2 left-hand zags to come after this turn. And it's a 90 degree off the top of the KOM and a 90 degree turn down onto the roadway, and it looks to me like this group are keeping super smooth together. Now, who has come across this group at the moment? It looks like it is going to be the youngster here. So Xander Graham coming across that gap and has made it into the leading group. He weighs nothing. In fact, I'm sure I've got a suit that's heavier than Xander hung up in the wardrobe. He is one of our lighter riders. He's used that to his advantage. The downside is when he goes down the other side, he really is at a disadvantage because he's not got the same number of top end watts as the other riders. Now, Whitelaw pushing on. Smith in second place. Tacey having to make up the running behind in the grey and purple kit with the disc wheel just in front of Russ there. And all these riders are working well at the moment. Nobody looking like they're struggling behind. The group has well and truly opened up. It's Lavery, I think, who's at 18 seconds. Bibby at about 19. And they are in 1s and 2s behind. We're going to jump across in here, though, with Thorpe at the moment. And Thorpe, despite that early power up, looking smooth. As we come around the side of the monument, coming up towards the top of the climb, we've got one right and one left hand turn, and I don't think anybody thinks they're going to break this group apart at this stage. They're all waiting for that running. It's for fast running. You're faster as a group, and this is now a group of 6 riders together with a 22-second lead on Lavery, Bibby, Hutchinson, Allen and Oxenham. In fact, Oxenham now at 30 seconds behind. It shows you just how brutal this climb is on the way up here. So round the left-hand turn, it's going to be Tacey, I think, who is going to take the top of the climb. Let's see if he beats that 7:47 time. Indeed, they do. Look at that. Tacey going through with a 5:01, and you can see that Xander coming across the gap has put the fastest time on the climb in, and that's because he came from the chasing group at 10 seconds before it all split to 20 seconds into that descent. So Russ already down in the super tuck position. So you can just see Russ was just in to the super tuck. It's got to be steeper than 3%. You've got to be doing more than 58 kilometers per hour. Stop the pedaling and you'll find that you can jump in and roll in without having to pedal too hard. And at the moment, this group just switching across the roadway at the moment. We're just in with Kieran Smith at the back here, but they are absolutely nailing the way down here at the moment. It is incredibly fast. So Whitelaw in the orange just moves to one side. Smith pushing onwards here, just running in with Tacey at the moment. Tacey sitting currently in man number one as he moves on to the front. Everybody's working together. You can see how fast that gap has opened up. They really are stretching the group out, the gap out. Currently at 1 minute 51 to Mazzoni, I think, and Bibby shows at 58, so I think that's going to be the accurate time check. Just jumping in. We're going to try and jump in with that second group. Easier said than done, may well be. We've got to jump back in with Russ, and I think as they go over the top of the route there, those gaps have opened up. And just playing catch up with the computer timing system on the way down here now. Looks like these riders really are stretching the pace out now. Let's see who has got the speed as we come down in towards the flatlands. You're going to see it's going to roll off on the way down here into a very level run-in. And then we have that fast run into the finish with the right-hand turn immediately prior to the finish. Just rolling in with Russ at the moment. You can see the road levels and it goes deadly straight here. And this is now all about who is going to do the work. Looks like Russ being put up on to the front at the moment, but everybody's all over the road at the minute. Nobody wants to be the rider in command. Nobody wants to be the one left with that responsibility of leading this out, and it's gone to Kieran Smith to respond here. As you can see, there's been a move here by Tacey. Tacey's gone down the road here and he's coming in towards the bridge. He's putting a big number of watts here and just going to try and get across to Tacey. Easier said than done. Tacey put in 10 watts per kilo. He's opened the gap. He's got 2 seconds going to the screens. It's enough for them to have to work behind, and it's Whitelaw who's having to do the work here. He's at 8.7 watts per kilo. That gap, though, is not coming down a huge amount. Tacey needs to leave something in those legs behind. Kieran Smith has seen the danger and Smith is coming here. So Smith is coming at 10.2, 10.3, up to 15 watts per kilo, nearly 14.8 there. Kieran Smith knows that gantry is coming. He's round into the corner. He's going to be able to look back. He's going to be heading into that gantry. And here he comes into the finish. So it's going to be Kieran Smith who's going to take it 2 out of 2 on Halo Spring Week. He's a man for the spring. It's Smith in 1, it's Tacey in 2, Downing in 3, Xander Pole in 4, Whitelaw in 5. It's going to be Thorpe in 6 behind. This is the chasing group, and it shows you the difference between the riders. These are the nearest riders to that lead pack, and at the moment we're just sitting with Bibby. Bibby just off the back of this group a little bit. He's got to get on those wheels here because it comes incredibly quickly. Now onto the front goes Hutchinson in that blue GB kit. Then it's Lavery in the black, Bibby in the light blue. Who's this going to be? It's going to be a really interesting sprint. The youngster has the advantage of being able to kick out a lot of watts per kilos, but has he got enough total watts when it comes to the sprint? He should have the zip and the ping, but this is going to be incredibly tight as they come through, just riding in with Bibby at the moment. We're waiting for the numbers to come out, and these riders are starting to see the gantry. Here they come in towards the line, and Hutchinson's going to push on. It's going to be Hutchinson who's going to take this. It is Hutchinson who's going to take this behind then. Looks like it's going to be a fight between Stables and Oxenham, and it's going to be Oxenham who's going to get it. Oxenham gets it from Stables. The trike comes through behind as Allen comes through. Then it's going to be Tushel Waller followed by Fox. 80 Dench just distanced on that little bit of a run in, and Harrison Tacey going for it there to try and break up the gap, but not quite enough on the run in there. Closed back down again. So Dench comes in, and then it is going to be Morgan Lloyd. Lloyd just stayed just about clear of Buzzard. Noel, OZK, Goddard in there. Goddard's got a big kick on him, and they are coming fast behind. Are they going to close that gap down by enough? This is going to be tight. No, they're not. So going over the line was Lloyd. Then it was Noel, Goddard, OZK, and Buzzard as they came through that time. Just going to drop back to Taylor now. So Taylor going to be our next rider in to the finish here for Halo Week. So Taylor on his way in and through the finish there, just coming in ahead. I think it was Craig Herring. So Herring takes it from Mazzoni, and then it's going to be Milne. And I think Shelley Charles Osman coming in, Sandy Smith in that group. Next group is coming in at the moment, being led out. We've got Runnert, really is trying to push on here. But look at the gaps open in front. It is going to be a really tight finish between these riders. And cracking ride there as they come through. And good to see our women's leader coming through to take that. Casey Colclough once again showing she's absolute class on a bike. As Colclough comes through, and look at the plethora of jerseys there. The Petite KOM, the Reverse Aqueduct, the green sprint jersey, and the lap jersey as well. So some fantastic riding there. We're just going to drop back a touch. I think Chappell is going to be our next rider coming into the finish. Chappell just ahead of Chris Heseltine, James. Then it's going to be Oliver, Evans, Bishop, who are chasing a group of 4 behind. You just see them in the distance. So it's going to be Chappell, who's our next rider to come through underneath the gantry. Then we're going to jump back, and Bishop looks like he is leading out the kick behind, but it's going to be tight. So it's Bishop at the moment on the front. Bish kicks hard again. He's only doing enough though. He's not going to put in too much here. Can he keep clear? He can. So it's Bishop, then Oliver, then Heseltine, James, followed there by Evans in and through the line. Our next rider will be Lee, coming up to the line. So Lee going to be solo in towards the line, as I think he's going to be Sean Ferrin behind. So Lee in underneath the gantry. Then it's going to be Ferrin. 3 seconds back is McLeod. So McLeod leading a group here, and Ferrin knows that he's in danger of getting caught, but Ferrin's got a big kick on him. We know he's got the watts behind it. It's going to be tight between these riders. So let's just jump in. Can't discount Sheldon Hall here, and if we're going to get up above them, here we go. It's going to be King, I think, is going to take this. So King comes through, then it's Sheldon Hall, then Scott and McLeod, then it's going to be Cooper, followed by Dick Samoa coming in and through. Sims coming through as well. Sanderson not all that far behind. Andy Wolf coming through, and Langmead, our next rider into the line. 10 seconds clear as he comes in from a Rumble. So it's going to be a Rumble, our next rider into the line. David Rumble putting another good ride here on the Donny Chaingang live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Then it's going to be Wayne Barr. Wayne, of course, with company. And it's going to be between Wayne and Ted. And I think it's going to be Ted who's going to take it. Ted with the flat cap on is out of the saddle. Just takes it to go through the line. Then it's going to be Waller who comes into the green countdown line. So Waller looking good as he comes in to the line here, looking smooth. Then it's going to be Kirkham. So Kirkham looking good. He's got Dubash behind. So Dr. D is pushing on here. So Dr. D could just about get him. It's going to be close. Oh, Dr. D just rolls him on the line as well there. Just taking that from Kirkham. Then it's going to be Mr. Richards on the track. So Keith Richards comes through. Great riding, mate. It is always good to see. Behind then, Colin Bell of Beefy from Cycleways leading this out. He's got Clark just behind. Clark just chasing hard to stay in the wheels. Then it's going to be Jarvis. Jarvis is going to be the second of our female finishers today on the Donny Chaingang. Don't forget, of course, we have Women's Wednesdays. The finale of the latest block is going to take place next Wednesday. And it's a Crit City special. We're going to be doing Downtown Dolphin. It's going to be 20 laps, and our ride leader, once again, is going to be Emma. Emma, of course, riding for the AEO Racer team. And coached by Downey Cycling, going to be our rider who's going to be in charge. Once again, Emma and myself, Matt Paynter and Russ Downing, of course, all working together to bring you Women's Wednesdays. And always great to see the turnout, see the progression of our riders on both the Open and on the Women's Wednesdays on the Donny Chaingang. The Donny Chaingang, a great place to learn how to ride, and its infamy is spread definitely worldwide if the comments are anything to go by. So here we go. It is going to be Nunn coming through just in front of Dixon. Behind is going to be Mosley. So Mosley, our next rider coming in to the finish. Got a little bit of a gap on Cooper and Grant. So as we go back to Cooper, who is just on the way down. Let's see if we can get hold of Russ, who's, I think at the moment, just warming down. Russ, how you doing?
I'm good, mate.
That was a good Chaingang. It was incredibly quick, though.
Oh, it's tricky. I think, it's the draft change is just making it pretty real now. You're never getting an easy sit if you're pushing on the watts, it's hurting. So it's totally. I think it's changed. Unless my legs are just tired, but that's my thing. But now it's good. Harrison Tacey, he went fall in on the aqueduct, and I was like, I need to go with that, and I couldn't.
He was very
use the wheels.
He's very aggressive. He's very good at kicking on, and he's a class rider, but just didn't have an answer to Kieran Smith. And Kieran's sprint, we know, he's phenomenal when he's coming into a finish. He's got 2 out of 2 on Halo Week, and that is some doing. But we've seen him all the way through. He's quick. He rides the wheels. He knows how to hide out of the wind. Then when it's time to go, he's got that acceleration.
Yeah, I think Harrison knew that, So he went at probably, what did he go at? 800 metres to go or something. He knew if he got the jump, that's the only way he could beat Kieran. So he played his card, rolled his dice, and Kieran came over him, and it was good to see. Did I squeeze on for the podium? I can't remember.
I don't think you did, mate. Sorry.
I think I got rolled by a young whippersnapper, didn't I?
I think you did get rolled by a young whippersnapper who, if my memory serves me correctly, is actually riding on a set of smart rollers, if I remember right. So
do I get the podium then? Is that?
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting to know what if it was on a power crank, what the numbers would be, whether they'd be the same. But that's the thing. It is, as Swift always say, it's aimed to be a game, and we want everybody to have fun on the Chaingang. And it's definitely, like you say, with the new draft, everybody has to work, and it does replicate it. I personally think the new draft is very good. I think it's much closer to real life. And if you can ride in real life, you can use those same skills to hide and to push down, when your avatar's on the outside, to push down the outside of a group.
Yeah, that's what I did on the top of the KOM. I was gassed, and I could see that 2 or 3 people were coming. So as they got to me, I just squeezed and sort of got on the back. So it was just like, someone's coming, slightly squeezed, and I slotted on the back. If I hadn't seen them come in, I'd have just been in no man's land, and I'd have been out the back. Said, can't climb, so.
Well, it is really interesting to see, isn't it? The different people. We got all ages. We've got people like Paul Whitelaw, who's one of our more senior riders, let's say, and we've got our youngsters, the 10, 11, 12s. We're just watching Tom Wolfe here, 13-year-old, really talented rider from Matlock CC. And we've got everybody out and riding together in a virtual world, and that's the thing. We've seen everybody improving no matter how old they are.
Yeah, so I've seen someone on there who's got age 10 up the side of his name. Do you
Yep.
know the oldest rider is on the DCG? It'd be interesting to find out.
Martin Bolt's got to be up there, but I'm not sure he's the oldest. That's for sure. There are a few older riders in there doing good rides. And just to watching Mark Grant come through, another of our much improved riders, another member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, just watching Owen Davies on his way in now. And certainly these riders, they are improving, but the oldest rider, I think, well, we'll see. Let's see who puts what on the Facebook page. Let's see who's going to admit to having a bus pass.
Yeah, I'd say I feel old after that now, like, but it was great. You know, it's when you see what's it, Xander coming up and his age. I think, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, when I was chasing the good riders when I was like under 16. Thinking, can I come out here, please? But you know, that's what the chain gang's good for. You can actually ride with some current pros, ex-pros. You know, it's just a great mix, and it's all good.
Definitely. I've just got a message coming from Colin Bell on the old Facebook Messenger, and Colin is 60 and feeling it. Well, Colin puts in a fearsome sprint coming into the finish every time. He had to fight for it, unlike Mr. Davis, who has managed to get a little bit of a quieter ride. And Beefy is 60, and I won't publish the video. It's definitely, he's got an interesting ceiling to his pain cave, that's for sure. But 60 is still killing it on the chain gang. So there's some going.
That's it. I'm sure Mr. Bolt's older than that, you know.
I'm sure Martin Bolt is 65, if not more. But I think we've got a 70-year-old on the chain gang. I'm pretty sure we have, but we'll find out. I'm sure somebody will tell us who's the oldest.
Tell you what, for the oldest guy on the chain, I'll give him a bag of yellow beacon coffee. So everyone,
there you go.
stick your numbers on the Facebook page, and there'll be a yellow beacon coffee coming in the post.
Excellent. That's what we want to see, guys. Get those ages in, and let's see who's going to start the posts rolling. And I've got a little way to go. It's a good job. I've got plenty of supplies of coffee at the moment. So just going across to Tom Wolf. So Tom Wolf coming in through the gantry, the Matlock rider, pushing his way into the finish, just to warm down to go. Kerrigan behind, now into that same finish, and it's a good finish, isn't it? Because it's quite deceptive. You've got the bridge over the roadway, which means that you know that you're not all that far out. It's about 500 metres, and then you hit that green beacon, but it's just round the corner, and it catches a number of riders out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we were going quick there, and I was so like, ouch! I could see Harrison squeezing the orange numbers. I was like, ow, how far we got to go? And I looked down, and I could see, like a traffic light, orange numbers, green numbers, anything. So I was just like, shut your eyes and go for it.
Well, I think one rider who's making the most of the downhill is Lindley at the moment. And the rider not actually going into Super Tuck because they haven't got the speed. You've got to be 58 kph to get the Super Tuck. Got the gradient, but not the pace at the moment. So Lindley on the downhill. Looks like Tickers is leading the group, or is it Barrett? Barrett is on the leading the group up the hill, and our Red Beacon group just a little bit fractured on here. So looks like you got Barrett, Tickers, Cookie, Richardson and Bolt all pretty much together on the way up that climb. They're not too far apart, and not all that far from the top.
Yeah, they should, get over these last 2 or 3 corners, and then surely Martin will round them up. You know, he loves. He invented the red beacon, so he loves it. He'll push on and squeeze them all up, and get 4 or 5 riders all the way down the other side, and that'll be a good night for him.
Definitely. Well, we better let you go get some recovery done. And bits of, no doubt, OTE recovery in place. And we will no doubt catch up prior to the weekend. Don't forget, of course, guys, if you're a member of the DCG gang, make sure you get using those discount codes and get in touch with Russ, because Russ has still got a fair bit of stock for the Yellow Blend and the Yellow Beacon Blend and the Double Day. I think you're okay for stock at the moment, Russ?
Yeah, we still got enough meat on the bone, or enough beans in the cup, as you want to say. So, yeah, we've only just started selling the Yellow Beacon. purely to members first. So it's a good blend when your coffee machine works. So
I've been avoiding the subject all evening, mate, about your coffee machine and the.
my brother's lent me a rescue gadget. It's not quite pumping it out the same, but it's giving me that little caffeine boost. So we'll be right.
Definitely. Well, at least it means you won't just drink all the stock. That's something.
That's it.
Right, thank you very much, Russ. We will catch up with you later on. Let's get back to the action as we watch Mr. Bolt on the climb.
Have a good descent, guys, and cruise home to the finish.
So a big thank you to Russ there as we watch Martin Bolt on this climb, the perpetual red beacon being given it today, as we just see our riders coming up around those final turns, heading underneath the gantry, and Martin riding his way up towards the top. Well, to everybody who's ridden and got to the top of this climb, it is a horrible climb, that is for sure. Richardson, our red beacon elect, not being allocated the beacon, and going to Martin Bolt for some reason, but do you know what? It's meant that there's two of them on that beacon duty, and great to see on that. Always good to see that Mr. Richardson has got the glasses and the flat hat and the class bike on there, the classic machine, the Swift machine there as they come over the top. Let's see if they can close those gaps down, because I think Lindley and co are well on the way down. Lindley's going to come in to the descent here and onto the flat. Let's see if he's ready to pedal. Tickers, well, Tickers is over the top, got 2 seconds on Barrett, 15 to Richardson. Bolt is getting company here as well, so they are going to be picking the pace up at the moment. Cookie a little bit further down the road, but it's going to be Lindley's going to be the first rider into the finish as we go past the start line, the start pens where we were just under 1.5 hours ago, just heading it down past the pens. So 2 full laps complete, just the run into the finish to do for Lindley, and soon going to have the bridge in view. So that bridge coming up is a nice indicator that you're not too far from the finish. If you're riding in a small group, it's a great place to pick up the pace, because you know that it's going to be tough for somebody to start getting around you unless they've got a really good kick, and that's what we saw. We saw Harrison and Tacey really pushing on the pedals, trying to break the group apart. But Kieran Smith and the gang, the 5 riders, really closing that gap down really quick, and a real spread of riders and abilities as well. So Lindley on the way in towards finish. It looks like Tickers well onto the descent. A little bit further to go before it comes onto that straighter section. You just see behind, we're just trying to get a decent view on the map. Looks like Barrett at 8 seconds, and then 13 seconds from 14 from Tickhill is going to be Richardson, Bolt and Cookie. And Cookie at the moment just chasing into the back of that group. So this is going to be our red beacon group of 3. The bus about to pick up Barrett. The pace of 3 riders always quicker than 1 pretty much down here. At Lindley now coming into that finishing straight here, and it's going to be Lindley across the line next, and going to have time to take it steady on the way through. No need to bust the gut coming in, because going to have a solo roll in through the finishing line. So well done to Lindley. And we are going to cut back across to the next riders out on the road. And I think that is going to be Tickers on his way down. So as Tickers makes his way down, I want to say a massive thank you to Halo Wheels. Don't forget, guys, our sponsors, the guys that you see on the bottom of your screen down there: Grand Tour Coffee, Vela Skin, 1080, OTE. They're all the guys who help us. Halo are down there. They all help the Chaingang. They all help the members of the DCG gang. And of course, all of that comes together to bring you the rides, to bring you the coverage, and of course, to keep the wheels rolling on the road. We've been out there with Women's Wednesdays. We've put specials on. We've encouraged lots of young riders. We've been out helping people, the Chaingang members, the people on the Facebook page looking after each other. It's only possible because you joined the gang and because you help us keep on going. We need those guys at the bottom to keep on going. And remember, Pretty Gritty, our very first giveaway on the Donny Chaingang, doing the business. They're back with 20% discount if you're a member of the DCG gang, and their kit is sustainable, it's environmentally friendly, it is absolutely class, and it is great to wear as well. I had the pleasure of testing some of it out, and it is brilliant stuff. And remember, support the people that support your sport. Without these people, we can't bring it to you, we can't keep the rides going. They're the guys doing it. They're not a nameless, faceless corporation. They are real people who ride the Chaingang. Ben Jenkins, the man behind Grand Tour Coffee, Chris Idell, regular on the Chaingang, Velaskin, Ian Taylor, in from the start of 1080. OT Annie Simpson has ridden with the Chaingang since we had Downey Cycling Club runs. We've got Halo Wheels, they're out there riding with Russ day in, day out. They're out supporting us all, making sure that our riders keep going. And a massive thank you to them for that big prize on the way in as well. Now, I've got to say a huge thank you to all of our riders as our riders come up on to tickets. We're going to jump back in because this is going to be a fast finish. Make sure you support the people who support your sport. Make sure you keep on joining the Donny Chaingang Sports Club, the DCG gang. In the meantime, we are going to try and jump in with the rider. The screen works long enough as Richardson is going to be our last rider in through the line, the man who was given the beacon duty. So coming in, it's going to be Barrett leading them home. Then it's going to be Bolts, followed by Cookie, Tickers. And then it is going to be Keith Richardson, the man who was up for the duties. So make sure you get on the website, join the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Make sure you get out on the bike over Easter. If you see us out and about, give us a shout, say hello. And remember, of course, you can get out and ride with a few people now out in the real world. But, of course, we will be bringing you all of the Donny Chaingangs live here on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel. Myself, Matt Payne from Full Speed Events, putting words to the action. Don't forget, of course, next week we have 3 rides. We have our Open Chaingang on Tuesday. We have Women's Wednesdays, the final one of this block, the special from Crit City with that great Oakley giveaway by 1080. And we have a Thursday ride as well next week. We've got 1080 week coming up the week after that with 2 more sets of Oakleys, more Oakley bundles going to be given away at that point as well. And, of course, we're going to be here all the way through the year. Make sure that you enjoy your riding, whether no matter what happens in the outside world. We're down in the bunker down here in the studio. You're out on the bikes in your pain caves. Make sure you say hi. Get on that Facebook page. Tell us how old you are. Don't forget, we're giving away a bag of yellow Beacon Blend coffee beans to the oldest rider on the Chaingang. So thanks, Russ. So from Halo, from myself, Matt Payne, from Russ, and everybody on the Donny Chaingang, have a great Easter weekend. And we'll see you on Tuesday for the next Donny Chaingang.